Yo, so that's a dope disposition that you have, because earlier you just said that, and I admire this in you, and hearing you verbalize it and communicate it. You said that it was a privilege, that you look at it now, that it was literally a privilege to having gone through the challenges that you went through growing up. Where does that thought process come from? Did some of that come from your mother? I know you said your mother, you credit her with like a lot of your your character.
Yeah, I think a lot of my outlook on life has came through the hardships. Is that I recognize how uncomfortable they are, and part of my ability to like be introspective and to try to like analyze things is because I really just don't want to stay in those places. I think that the suffering in itself, the hardships in themselves, has molded me forced me to go beyond that, to force me to like let that not be my narrative. Like just because I started off poor doesn't mean I'm gonna end up poor. Just because I struggle with something doesn't mean I'm always gonna struggle with it. So I think in my early 20s, my mom's perspectives on love and being connected and in tune with myself really did start that journey for me, where as she, like I said, my mom lost over 100 pounds, got clean. Like some of that experience, I think like rubbed off on me, where it's like those tools that she was gaining, she was able to pass them on to me. And then, from as early as I can remember, I was outside. 6th, 7th grade, I had a skateboard, a bike. Like I just was outside. My dad wasn't so present in the sense of he kept food on the table and he kept the roof over my head. But the guidance and the lessons that I learned, they came from other people's parents. They came at school. Okay. They came from mentorship. My mom, until I was in my late 20s, was a phone relationship.
Wow.
I lived in the Bay. She lived in LA. I would see her maybe 2 times a year. So most of her guidance when I was young was really just like phone support.
It's from a distance.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wow. So when you were in high school and everything, it was just you and your dad?
Yeah, just me and my dad. I had the choice to choose, and in the 5th grade, I chose my father because I lived in a small Hispanic town outside of LA here. And in 5th grade, I've been in like 10 fights in like a very short amount of time. And there was not the discipline that my father provided me. My father was like no nonsense, his way type of thing. And I knew even as a young kid that was what I needed. Like I couldn't just be left alone and be in a place where, I like in a small Hispanic town, like my brother's graduation, there was only 11 white kids.
Wow.
So it was like being a minority in a sense.
Right.
Now I know more about society and the world. I want to consider myself like a minority.
Right, no, I get it. But at the time.
Yeah, and then I moved to the Bay, and the Bay's so gamed up, and there's Asians and Indians and black people, white people, Mexicans, like a lot of my culture and seasoning came from living in the Bay Area and from San Jose. Yeah.
How old were you then when you moved to the Bay?
10.
Oh, you were 10. Okay,
yeah, so I lived in the Bay from 10 to 28. So 18 years of my life, like my becoming a man and my adolescence and shit was all.
Those were your formative years.
Yeah, and then what also I talked about contrast. I went from being a dirt road country kid to living in the city. So there's another layer of contrast that has set me up to have compassion and understanding for different walks of life.
Wow, sounds like all of that, those experiences kind of gave you the tools to be able to move seamlessly in and out of many different situations and the different type of people and be able to relate with with all different type of people from different walks of life. So when you were in high school, did you play sports or anything in high school, college, or tell me about that?
Yeah, I played football. I was like I was the best linebacker in my league. I made all Mid-Peninsula. I played in the high school All-Star game. I was very athletic. I played high school basketball too, but
Dope.
I just was a bully. I wasn't really that good at basketball. I get rebounds and like foul out every game.
You were the enforcer. All right,
Yeah.
that's what's up. Dennis Rodman of the team. What,
Yeah. But I played sports, and that did keep me out of a lot of
I was
trouble.
going to ask you that.
Like for example, I had a friend from my neighborhood. In the 9th grade, we from the same neighborhood. He got kicked off the football team. He got into smoking crystal meth in the 9th grade, and he got kicked out of school. And it was like, for me, it was like kind of, and he became later to get clean and make a lot of money. Like, but I use him as an example of what sports did for me. Is like it literally kept me out of trouble in a way where like him not having sports after school, he's left to like whatever people who don't have shit to do, start hanging out with the wrong crowd and stuff like that. So sports definitely impacted my life. And I was in this program in high school called AVID, which is like advancement via individual determination. And it's a program that some schools have that's set up for minorities and low income students. And like they teach you how to take the SAT. They teach you how to take notes. And it was a program I took for 4 years, and I had a mentor named Miss Duffy. And like I was on reduced lunch. She would give me my 40 cents every morning to go pay for my lunch and shit.
Wow.
So like I had good people guiding me the whole time. And at the time I didn't know my dad still used drugs, but my teacher must have known.
Your teacher knew.
Yeah, she just took to me, and she spoke about my father in a way that I didn't recognize him as. And I just found out last year my dad had a methamphetamine addiction until I was about 22 or 23. So like as I was growing up, I didn't know he was on drugs.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked him like, hey, why we never got it? Why you never figured it out? Like why we struggled? And he said, well, shit, I had a methamphetamine addiction.